like to introduce our speaker today. As you know, it's Daniel McNeil. He's a third-generation muralist, which I didn't know about that. A sculptor and an artist. He's been practicing metaphysics as a student of metaphysics on his path for over 40 years. And he had previously attended Unity of Cape Cod and studied and worked with Reverend Janet Smith there. And he taught the Unity principles to the teenagers, and also he's a member of the Self-Realization Fellowship and a daily meditator. We're going to be happy to hear his meditation today. He also, for about 15 years, he taught Tai Chi, Qigong, and meditation to the Muscular Dystrophy Association, which is pretty cool. And we're very happy that he and Jane have moved here to Las Cruces. So without further ado, Daniel McNeil. Woo-hoo!
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is God's house. Reverend Janet Smith used to start that off service with the song, "Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place." And this is God's house. And I'm humbled to be here. I'm humbled to be asked to speak on my experience with the 12 powers. With 12 powers, what are the 12 powers? I thought about that. The 12 powers to me are metaphysical Toys R Us. It's a place to go, and no matter what my challenge or experience is. Anyway, I started studying the 12 powers around 30 years ago. To say my life was a little bit uncomfortable is an understatement, and I was looking for something so I could turn it around, because my way wasn't working. And I fortunately, I try to think about this, like how did I end up at Unity at Cape Cod, and I don't remember, but I did. I know my mother used to read the Daily Word all the time, which, thank God, and pray for me all the time. So I ended up going to these classes. I started taking these 12 powers. I kept hearing about the 12 powers, the Fillmores and the 12 powers and these healing secrets. The healing secrets of the ages she talked about. She talked about a book by Catherine Ponder. And, you know, what did I have to lose? I read the book. I started to take the classes. And things started to change in my life, basically. She talked about these powers that we had inside of us, and I had heard that before in different ways, but I had an open mind, and I had an open mind because I needed an open mind with the situations that were going on in my life, physically, mentally, and spiritually. And she talked about these secrets that we had inside. She says, Catherine Ponder says, healing secrets of the ages, the 12 powers are not a new idea, but a proven ancient healing method. Both the ancient Egyptians and the Brahmins knew that by centering their complete attention, they stimulated the centers of consciousness in the body, and healing resulted. They knew and proved that the powers in this conscious mind over the body was nearly immeasurable. I'd like to tell you, I don't remember where I heard this, but it's a Hindu lesson, it's a story, okay, and I'm going to read it really quickly. There once was a time when all human beings were gods, but they abused their divinity, and then Brahma, the chief god, there's always a chief god, right, decided to take it away from them and hide it where it could never be found. Where to hide the divinity was the question, so Brahma called the council of gods to help him decide. Let's bury it deep in the earth, said the gods. Brahma answered, no. That will not do, because humans will dig up the earth and the ocean and find it. Then the gods said, let's sink it in the deepest ocean. But Brahma said, no, for they will learn to dive into the ocean and will find it. Then the gods said, let's take it to the top of the highest mountain and hide it there. But once again, Brahma replied, no, that will not do either, because eventually they will climb every mountain once again and take up their divinity. Then the gods gave up and said, we do not know where to hide it, because it seems that there is no place on the earth or in the sea that human beings will not eventually reach and find it. Brahma thought for a long time and then said, here's what we'll do. We'll hide the divinity deep in the center of their own being, for humans will never think of it right there. So, and a little bit about my personal experience with the 12 powers, without getting into a big story. When I started working with the 12 powers and taking these classes, I was probably 65 to 70 pounds overweight. And it wasn't that I wasn't working out, I was working out like a banshee every day. My food choices were probably a little off, but I had blood pressure was so bad that they put me on the highest dose of blood pressure medicine that you could take. I remember asking the doctor, is there anything I can do to get off of this? And he said, Daniel, they'll bury you with a bottle of this. That's how bad it is with you, you know. So, and I smoked cigarettes like I was going to get the electric chair. I tried so many different ways to stop smoking, and it just didn't work. And I gave up on quitting. So I started to practice these principles, these affirmations, my faculty of faith, and believing the right and perfect thing was going to happen. And it wasn't magic. It didn't all of a sudden, poof, go away. I started to make different choices in my life, basically. Choices based on the truth. My judgment became better. My food choices became different. I lost 75 to 80 pounds, and I wasn't on a diet. I remember going for my yearly checkup to my doctor, and he was shocked. He said, I don't know what happened. He didn't put me on a lower dosage of blood medication. He took me off of blood pressure medication, and I haven't been on it since.
All right.
The cigarette smoking, I had no intentions of stopping. Our son Jonathan was a little kid. He was 10 years old or something, and he said, Dad, he says, there's a great American smokeout, and I want to be a sponsor, and I want you to quit smoking. And I'm like, oh, God. And I said, well, I can give this kid a day. I'll give him a day, right? I had cigarettes in my car. I was all ready to go as soon as I gave him this day. And I haven't had a cigarette from that day to this. So it wasn't that I made a decision to start smoking. It's like I put it out there into the ethers, and it come back manifested in the right and perfect way for me to do what I had to do to improve my life. You know, it's not that I'm any better or any different than anybody else. We all have this power. It's like that little story says, even though it's a little story. I went a little bit, because I don't have a lot of time I'm not going to be able to go through all the powers, but I'm going to try to tap into them a little bit. And first of all, I was taught to invite Christ into my Christ consciousness into awakening these powers. Which I did. And the first one I worked with and asked to awaken was my faculty of faith. And I'm going to do some reading from this that I used to teach teenagers about the faculty, and I have a workbook. So, and I'd love to be able to memorize it and get up here and just roll it up, but that's not going to happen. And I don't want to misquote it and put Daniel's spin on it. Faith. Faith is the Christ power within us that enables us to translate the invisible into the visible, transform the divine substance into perfect manifestation for good in our lives. And it's as simple as this. I was taught that what you think is going to become your experience. It wasn't all about like believing in this power that was going to come and change these things in my life. Is that the right and perfect thing was going to happen in my life if I practice these principles, these truth teachings in my life. It's as simple as that. Example. I taught Tai Chi, like Reverend Tanya said, for over 15 years. And my students with this devastating disease, some of them couldn't walk. I mean, I developed a Tai Chi form that we actually got chairs that they could swivel so they could move because they couldn't stand. And they would try anything. I could have told them to light their hair on fire and put it up with a hammer, and they would have. Because, you know, because of their physical challenge, they were open to, I'll do anything that, as strange as it sounds, or as kind of, you know, spacey as it sounded. So they, you know, and I, along with the Tai Chi, I brought in, snuck in some unity principles, basically. And, you know, like, for instance, they couldn't name the disease. They couldn't say the word MS. They talked about their health challenge. In all those years and with all those students, I had one student that said it didn't work for him or her. Because she was so closed down, because she was broken. She was just broken. It wasn't her fault. It wasn't a bad thing, you know. And that's it. They believed that it was going to work. And they didn't just sit around and believe it. They did something about it. They took what they were being taught and they applied it into their lives. So it worked in their lives. And I had letters and letters and from people who thanked me for improving their lives, and it had nothing to do with me. You know, it has to do with these teachings. It had to do with what they had inside. What I didn't give them anything. Just my experience, which I'm trying to do here. Our next faculty is the faculty of strength, which is located in our lower back. Okay. Oh, I didn't mention this. The pineal gland. Reverend Tanya talked about that last week. It's in the center of our heads. That's the faculty of faith. The faculty of strength is in the lower back, okay, and I'm going to read this again. Our first thought about strength is usually in the physical capacity. But when we are speaking of the Christ power within us, what is the nature of this strength? It is important to remember that strength is not exertion, force, pressure, or movement. These are means of using strength, but they are not strength itself. These qualities can be used to describe vitality, but there's a difference between vitality and strength. It is the difference between movement and stillness. Isaiah 30:15, the Bible states, "And quietness and confidence shall be your strength." Strength then displays the qualities of stillness, quietness, endurance, stability, and dependability. As Charles Fillmore says, "The ever-renewing, ever-unfolding spirit of infinite strength sustains us as we go from glory to glory." Again, real briefly, I'll use again the Tai Chi that I use. Tai Chi, you see a lot of people are under the assumption it's for old people, and it's like this moving meditation, which it is. Tai Chi is a very formidable martial art. Briefly, the story that I was told to me was that a Chinese general come back from the wars as a warrior, and he was going to find a way to protect his village. He hooked up with a Taoist Zen master, and they combined the two things together. So along with the force came this quiet, and this quiet meditative state. And he put the two together, and so not only did he use his strength for himself, but he used your strength against you by this strength. I'm sure all of us have examples of when they were relaxed, making a decision and doing something, and with confidence and believing it was going to be okay and really relaxed. But the results are usually better. I know I've experienced that. I experienced it with I'm a sculptor. My sculptures are extremely heavy, and I'm moving them around. My grandson helped me move them in the yard the other day, and we got it done. Well, they were pretty much relaxed. I was a little kind of jammed up that day. Because I'm so worried that they're going to get hurt. So that's a little bit about my faculty of strength. Our faculty of judgment or wisdom is located right here. Have you ever made a decision and like, that was my decision, and all of a sudden I got not here. I think Tanya was talking about that the other day. Oh, when I'm trying to make a decision, I'm comfortable here, because I have a faculty in here, and it's a power of. The term judgment has come to have connotations of passing judgment against or criticizing. But when we speak of the Christ faculty of judgment, we are talking about discriminating between, not against. For this reason, we choose to use the term good judgment. This helps us to remember that the function of this faculty is to choose, decide, discriminate, distinguish, evaluate, discern, and make decisions, good decisions, whether they're right or wrong. If I awaken my faculty of strength when I'm trying to make a decision, and I relax, and I awaken my faculty of faith, knowing that the right and perfect thing is going to happen, even if it's not what I think should happen, the right thing happens. And if it's not what I wanted to happen, I'm okay with it. And I usually find out later, thank God that worked out that way, because my way wouldn't have worked, you know, so. I just make better decisions, sometimes. A faculty of love. What am I going to say about this? I mean, it's everywhere. There would be no music in the sea if it wasn't for love, right? I mean, we were singing about it earlier. It's everywhere. This is probably the glue that holds all these faculties together. You know, because if I can do this with love or caring or thinking about others, because if I'm not, it's not that I think about myself or I think well of myself, it's that I think only of myself. Unless I'm thinking about somebody else. Someone told me the word humility, the Aramaic meaning for that is seeing the divinity in others. And when I can do that, if I'm having a problem with somebody, I look at them and I try to envision them as little children and what they were like before they were broken, not agreeing with my opinion. You know, so. Anyway, and it's care. That would have been difficult to figure out. My faculty of power, which is located here in my throat. Basically what I say is going to come back to bite me. Charles Fillmore wrote that every word that goes forth receives a specific character from the power of this faculty. He also wrote that Jesus laid great stress on the power of the word. The word has two activities. One is that of the still small voice within, and the other is that of the loud voice issued from our lips. As when Jesus raised Lazarus from the dead. In the beginning, God said, "Let it be," and it was. We are the offsprings of God, and our words have power. That is proportionate to our realization of our indwelling kingdom. Wow. So I need to be basically careful about what I say. Years ago when I started, I was reading a book called Creative Visualization, because I was searching for something to use things. And there's a whole chapter on affirmations, and I said, that shouldn't be difficult. Until I started to try to get up every morning and think really positive things about my life and what I wanted to bring into my life. I couldn't do it. I could come up with one. It would get stuck when I'm trying to sing. You know, my voice closes down. So I started to read the Myra book because I couldn't do it. And things started to change. You know, I started to affirm good in my life. We said, God is good all the time. I mean, it sounds like, what is that going to do? We have power here. We have these amazing, amazing powers that the special people don't get them. We all have them. My personal favorite, a faculty of imagination. When you're a kid, oh, he's a daydreamer. How can we lose that? Being bad around and just who knows why. Everyone has their own story, but it's such an important. I've heard stories of famous people who it starts with an idea. They would envision the good in their life. They would envision things happening. I remember reading a story about Arnold Schwarzenegger from a friend of his that wrote it, knew him since a child. He says he manifested every single thing in his life. He said it before it ever happened. When he was a kid, he saw it here. He saw it here and put it out there. and brought it back. There's ways to do that if you've lost the capacity to daydream, to think about good in your life. There's a treasure mapping. You can cut pictures out of a paper and look at them every day. And I was taught to do that and to look at them twice a day, keep it to myself, and affirm it, and write, this is something better. Because I could be asking for a Chevy, and God could have a Cadillac or a BMW. Like, well, you want a Chevy? Okay. You know, I was going to give you a BMW or whatever. Because God always says yes. God always says yes. I read it in the course of the Bible. Anything that's yours, you can't lose. And anything that's not yours doesn't exist no matter how hard you try to use it. It never exists. So that's a real positive way of doing that. I've done it and I've manifested things in my life. That's why we're here. Jay and our son was in Iraq and he was coming back from the military years ago when we came here to see him because we couldn't wait to see him in one piece. And we stopped in Santa Fe and I loved it there. I loved the light, I loved the art. I remember taking these books home with me and I would look at them periodically. I loved Adobe style columns, and I just liked the area. I was born in the 50s, and we were all cowboys, right? And here we are. And we just bought a new Adobe style home. And I'm thrilled to be here. We didn't put our house in the market when we sold it. I didn't put my truck in the market and sold it. I don't have time to tell you the story, but I'd rather tell you it afterwards. These things just happened. It started here. It started like this, this is something better. This stuff works. It's a metaphysical Toys R Us. And it's a real simple way of experiencing it. It's to try it, I remember being she mentioned in California. I was studying a form of meditation, and one of the monks stood up and he said, never mind just folding yourself up into a pretzel, or, meditate for 2 minutes a day. And I used to tell my students that, just 2 minutes a day, the same time of day, just 2 minutes. They said, well, I can't, I'd love to meditate, but I can't sit there. I can sit there and watch a 3-hour Harry Potter movie, but I can't sit there and not think about anything. But anyway, he said just do it for 2 minutes a day, 2 minutes. Because he knew that if you did that for 2 minutes a day, every day, that eventually that 2 minutes would become the most important part of your day. And it stands to reason. If I can do this for 2 minutes, why don't I do it for 3 minutes, maybe 5 minutes? And then I add 10 minutes. That's pretty much all the time I have. There's so much more to this. There's 6 more. But this isn't enough. There's 6 more. And it's like a spiritual toolkit that's given you that'll solve any challenge in your life. Simple. So that's my experience, at least up to that with this. And I guess now we're going to get ready for meditation. I just forgot I was doing it. Just relax. Just relax. What I'm going to do is I'm going to awaken these powers. I'm going to bless, I'm going to baptize them with one of the faculties. And I'm going to start with, by the way, all these affirmations that I've been doing for all these years are in Catherine's book, The Secrets of the Ages. I am the Christ mind. I am, I am, I am. The superintelligence of the Christ mind is now expressing through me now. Faith. I now bless and baptize my faculty and power of faith with my faculty and power of strength. Faith, faith, faith. I have faith in God. I have faith in people. I have faith in things. I have faith in the healing power of God as it works mightily in me now. I have faith in the perfect outcome of every situation in my life because God is in control. My faith now makes me whole. Strength. I now bless and baptize my faculty and power of strength with my faculty and power of love. Strength, strength, strength. I am a tower of strength, within and without. I let all burdens fall from my shoulders. I let all anxiety drop from my mind. I let all fear slip away from my heart. For God is in absolute control. My faith now makes me whole. Judgment. And I'll bless and baptize my faculty and power of judgment with my faculty and power of strength. I am satisfied with divine substance. The substance of God now erases all fatigue from my body. It renews and tissues and replenishes energy. Divine substance stabilizes my mind and prospers my affairs. Every longing of my soul and every need of my life is now fulfilled perfectly, on time, in full, in the right and perfect way. Love. I now bless and baptize my faculty and power of love with my faculty and power of strength. There is only love in my heart for everyone. I pour out my love to all mankind. I suppress or hoard nothing. I will now freely let God love through me, now and always. I now bless and baptize my faculty and power of imagination with my faculty and power of strength. Light, light, light. I now picture only the best for myself and others. My eyes are single to the good, my whole body is filled with light. Understanding. I now bless and baptize my faculty and power of understanding with my faculty and power of strength. I am intuitive understanding. Within me is the wisdom of the ages. The mind that knows how is showing how. The mind that knows where will tell me where. And the mind that knows when will tell me when. Will. I now bless and baptize my faculty and power of will with my faculty and power of strength. I relax and let go. I relax and listen for the voice of intuitive understanding to unfold its good to me. I will do the good will of God joyously. Only good shall come to me and mine. now bless and baptize my faculty and power of order with my faculty and power of strength. Divine order is now established in me by the power of the indwelling Christ. I am in divine order. My mind is in divine order. My body is in divine order. My perfect health is in divine order. Unity of Las Cruces is in divine order. The center for spiritual living is in divine order. In awakening my 12 powers and using them in the right and perfect way. Everything I say, think, and do is in divine order. Me not entertaining any negative, limited, or lackful thoughts for a day is in divine order. Divine order heals, prospers, guides me now. Zeal. And now bless and baptize my faculty and power of zeal with my faculty and power of strength. I praise my mind as the perfect creation of divine substance now. I praise my emotions as the perfect creation of divine substance now. I praise a safe, happy, joyous, and free Memorial Day weekend for us all as the perfect creation of divine substance. I now see more good in my life than I've ever seen before. Elimination. I now bless and baptize my faculty and power of elimination with my faculty and power of strength. I now willingly let go of every thought, condition, and our relationship that in any way retards my perfect being. I'm blessed with perfect elimination of mind, body, affairs, and relationships now. Life. I now awaken, bless, and baptize my faculty and power with my faculty and power of strength. Life. I'm filled and thrilled with vitalizing life. I'm alive, alert, awake, joyous, and enthusiastic about life. I'm the ever-renewing, the ever-unfolding expression of infinite life. So we can come out of this meditation if you have to. And thank you very much.